that job.
Oh.
Really low. With Flame will finish him off. He gets the hop over the wall with the broken wing. And now focus on Aslan. Grand count is up. Aslan will not last long. There's a flash from Excavate now. And now a steal and fail. The Seoul University still got the break. And here comes the fight. Full time is on. Look at the stupidity and Yamchi on the center of the fight.
Flash away as Arc goes for the back line. Condenser standing on top of that equalizer. Gets equalized indeed. Will keep waiting.
Good evening, everyone, and we are going to be entering our tiebreaker game between UC versus MCL, and we will be a shotcaster for the last match of the night. I am Vulcan, and joining with me is my co-caster, Atlas.
Wow, the Lenovo LoL Collegiate League 2017 spring term has been such an exciting term for all of us. It's culminating in this Interconference Series Group B before we go into our semifinals. And it's going to be Malayan College's Laguna Warlocks and University of Cordillera Scythe fighting it out to see which one of them will actually go represent the go out of Group B into the semifinals.
And going on to the semifinals and the hopes, and going on to the finals and to represent for the LICC. But enough of that. The tiebreaker game between UC and MCL. Who is going to be entering this as one of the top teams in your opinion? I mean, for me, I'll be backing on the UC because of their superior macro play.
Yeah, UC's macro play is definitely scary, but I like the novelty that MCL, the freshness that MCL actually gives in terms of the drafting phase.
Fresh.
But when it comes to the macro play, yeah, I do think even though MCL's macro play has been improving since the conference series, I think that the novelty is actually trumped by how fast-paced the macro play of Scythe is. For me, I'm gonna have to be betting on UC.
So we're both betting on UC.
So
my God. Well, I gotta actually agree with you on that. I mean, UC's from just those 2 straight games of the last match we've seen, we can't doubt that UC is very good in terms of rotation and macro compared to MCL, where we're seeing them, they haven't been playing so well in a way that they actually do rely on snowball, but those snowballs actually transition to late objectives. Let's say they actually take the dragon very late in the game, whereas UC, when they see an opportunity, they go
just
for
grab
it.
it.
Yeah.
So it's coming into the pick and ban phase. Mordekaiser from Luz is banned out. Suzuya, Lee Sin is actually also banned out. Stellar's Talia. So definitely UC realizes that every single one of these members can be a threat, especially these 3. On the other hand, MCL banning out the Thresh, Kled, and Ari, also realizing that a lot of threats on UC, but now they're going to focus on the support here with the Lulu ban, plus going to be a Fiora ban against Mob. On the other hand, UC now going to focus her on Suzuya, banning out his Ivern. On the other hand, also banning out the top lane, Lucis.
What can you say that, I mean, Jungle Nunu and Jungle Gragas?
Yeah, Jungle Gragas is going to get absolutely all of his camps will be stolen by the Nunu.
Is that like 100%?
Yeah, not really, but Gragas clear isn't that fast. He does have pretty decent sustain and tankiness in the jungle, but against Nunu, he'll just steal the camps away. But it's not that terrible for MCL because Gragas is a tank with lots of CC. Even if he doesn't have as much gold as he would have without being counter jungled by Nunu, he still has the potency of the explosive cast and the body slam. So you can't underestimate that. On the other hand, ooh, it's going to be a Kassadin lock-in for Stellar here. But actually, Kassadin is one of the pocket picks of Stellar, so we can see how it performs against Kissy's Orianna.
Yeah, this is going to be the last game. I mean, you cannot cut corners right now. Let's say you do have a pocket pick, but let's hope that that's actually useful right now in this current state of the drafting phase right now. Plus, we did see that UC, they did prioritize that Orianna, so they know that they must take this Orianna in order for them to really secure a really solid lineup. We're going to be seeing Cry yet again on that new jungle.
I'm really liking UC so far. Lots of utility with the mid lane, with a ton of damage there in the bot lane with Kissy and Hong, especially Hong on that support Zyra. I've seen lots of Zyras that actually outdamage their carries later in the game. And Cry actually has some pseudo synergy with Akinos with a blood boil. Just keep on blood boiling in team fights. Keep on blood boiling Akinos, and that's actually a huge impact that Cry is making already.
Yeah, and eventually you'll get a heart attack.
Just keep boiling your blood, and then get a heart attack after that. But after a team fight, if Akinos gets all those blood boils, even if he gets a heart attack, as long as he's dealing a lot of free hit damage against MCL, that's actually very worth it for UC. On the other hand, MCL, very strange picks here. Unconventional, rather. They have the Xayah, they have the Cassid, and they have the Jax top lane. Against the Rumble, the Rumble has a huge potential to actually just snowball over the Jax. Because you can't really counter-strike the Flame Spitter, so the damage will still go. But it's all up to the junglers to really dictate all of these lanes.
I don't think that Jax is a really good pickup against the Rumble, because Jax goes well against basic attack-oriented champions, such as, let's say, a Darius or a Kled or a Fiora. But against the Rumble, it's more on defensive, I guess. You just stun the enemy, but after that, you have to commit yourself into the fight. You do have to pass it from the active, from the Grandmaster Man-at-Arms, but that's not enough.
So it has to be careful to the top lane. As we get into our tiebreaker, the last match of tonight is going to be University of Cordillera Scythe versus Malayan College's Laguna Warlocks. We're going to see how everything plays out, because this is a high-stakes game.
The last game of the night of a tiebreaker. If MCL makes small mistakes, same for UC, this will give them an opportunity to stand on top and be victorious and go on to the semifinals.
So this is definitely a do-or-die game, and man, MCL had to go through two do-or-die games today. One against ADU, and now against UC. Now UC has the momentum from the last match. We're gonna see how all of it plays out. Seems like our teams are just going for their standard level 1 starts here, protecting the entrances of their jungle, not really going for any deep wards or anything. Just gonna go and have a lot of safety. They don't want to risk anything, because winner takes all in this match.
Winner takes all and losers take nothing. But yeah, anyway, that's
what it already implies.
I know, jeez. But yeah, going to the tiebreaker game, UC is clearly entering this as one of the top dogs, whereas MCL, they're more of a hamster in terms of macro play.
Yeah.
Because as we've seen from the games of MCL, they don't behave, or they don't even rotate the same way as the fashion as UC.
Yeah,
so
UC definitely very scary is how they rotate. So they have to watch out for these 4-minute dragons and these potent ganks coming from a Nunu of all champions.
Yeah, it's gonna be a terms of a pressure in the bot lane to put those wards.
It's definitely gonna be something to watch out for.
I mean,
the thing is, the last time that MCL faced up against UC, it ended up in a 1-1 with Stellar, still the mid laner, who just went up against UC and was able to get those wins. But this is not a best of 2. The winner of this game will be going to the semifinals. So it's really up to who gets to pull the trigger first and who aims for the target better.
Right now we're seeing more of a trade-off in the top lane against Jax and a Rumble. I've never seen that matchup before, but I gotta say, it's on to Rumble, because look at the DPS coming in. But the fact that Lucis can really CC lock Mob, and in terms of damage and trade-offs, I gotta say it's on to the Jax, because the Flame Spitter, you have to run from the counter-strike, so the Flame Spitter's damage is actually not used to its full potential.
But he can have a lot of protection from behind the minions. It doesn't take minion aggro, so the Flame Spitter, while it will naturally push the lane, he has that safety of being surrounded by all those minions. Suzuya trying to go for a gank there in the top lane.
Yes, and right now, I mean, you see, they're still playing the same strategy. This time it's 30, it's 3 minutes. Drake, oh jeez.
Already. And what's this going to do? It's going to make the laning phase of UC quite easier.
What is UC's jungler doing? I mean, it's so... I can't say that it's something very powerful in the way that you can get early objectives so fast, knowing that that is a Rumble, but man, I gotta hand it to Cry. he really knows when to take an objective and take it blindly and without MCL even knowing or responding.
Yeah, I think Cry's knowledge of the jungle is very vast, because to make that 3-minute dragon work, of course Nunu can solo it. But what if Suzuya intervenes? That kind of play, a 3-minute dragon, has to come from the cooperation of the bot lane, constantly pushing in Asuka and Kari. Means that if ever there's a fight at Drake, or if Cry gets caught out by Suzuya, Hong and Akinos are more in a position to respond. Plus, he knew the pathing of Suzuya, because he knew Suzuya would be top lane, so that was a signal for him to go for that free Ocean Drake.
And we also did see that from the 2 games, shouldn't MCL expect that UC will make those rotations? I mean, an early vision ward wouldn't have hurt, but seeing how, as you said, the pressure from the bottom lane really helped out in terms of denying.
The main thing, though, is that an early vision ward might be too costly, because it does give away, because that means Kari would have to give up 2 potions. Because that was a Drake from 3 minutes into the game. There was no time to go and get a buy timer from that.
Wow. Cry really making those objective plays, transitioning to, right now, not ganks, because as you said, Nunu is not this gank monster champion where he has to take kills. It's more on supporting your teammates and getting buffs.
Getting and then denying the resources away from the opposing jungler. Looking at the lanes, though, it's actually been pretty hard for the laners of MCL so far. Stellar is like 2 waves behind Kissy in terms of CS. So is Asuka.
Oh, he's been spotted though. Mob did
man.
see a glimpse
Just
of
at the edge
Suzuya.
of vision. Quite unfortunate for Suzuya. Look at here, just constantly being pushed in. Asuka having quite a hard time against this Caitlyn.
Oh, wow. Pretty close
man.
call for Ashka.
Would have been
Suka versus Akinos.
if Akinos got that kill.
Yeah.
Would have been the start of another snowball.
I think the snowball is already happening. I mean, look at the CS.
Yeah, the CS twice of Asuka. Plus, they're already pushing the lane in. So this lead is just going to grow after this wave.
And not to mention level advantage on top of that. This is a wave that Asuka is going to miss.
Cannon wave, too. So unfortunate for the spot lane of MCL. And they can't afford to go for these trades, you know? Because the Ocean Drake's just going to kick in. The early Ocean Drake really accumulates all the healing over time. Because when you get Ocean Drake early,
dive coming in, Lucy wards top, but does get slowed by the snowball. Does not try with flash burn onto 12 teams. Lucis is not catching a break right now. Mob is in range for the first blood, but it would be Cry securing it instead.
Seems like Suzuya's gank there in the bot lane wasn't as effective.
Oh, he's very low. One more hit, but the Inspire.
Fire saves him out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in terms of they do mirror the rotations coming into the top lane and then they react bot lane, but no kill gain for the bot lane. And really, because imagine it like this, that the earlier you get Ocean Drake, the better it is. Because in your laning phase, of course, going to trade out mana, trade out HP, and it's just going to come back because of the regeneration. The longer the game goes, the more that amount accumulates, the total amount accumulates. It's different from Mountain Drake, where it's like and Infernal Drake, where it's at the moment, at the team fight, and at the siege, that's where it takes effect. But with Ocean Drake, the value just gets more and more valuable as the game goes on, the earlier you get it.
And not to mention the next trick is Mountain. And leave the Cry to be there when it spawns, he'll take it down before MCL even has a fighting chance.
Yeah, it has to be MCL putting down some actual vision here in the river and around these objectives, because it's way too dangerous to leave Cry alone with those epic monsters. Has to be mindful of that.
Will he take it though? He does smite it, and stealing away Suzuya's resources.
Yeah, there's no chance for Suzuya to take his own buff. But
that's pretty sad.
yeah, that is very sad. But this is all about the laners as well. Like, Cry should not be free to do these if only the laners of MCL are able to respond. But because of how quite behind they are decently behind, they can't immediately rotate there to try and take out Cry without bringing attention to themselves or losing a lot of CS.
And seeing the rotations, MCL making their way to the red side.
That is one of the ways you can mitigate the losses you get from the Nunu, but he transitions that into a gank in the top lane. Successful one at that too.
With 40 seconds left in the Mountain Drain, we can expect that Cry will make rotations towards the bot lane. Maybe a visit. Who knows? It's up to Cry to determine the fight.
And UC not letting MCL catch her breath here. You're gonna see how this
boy.
Nunu
In the bot lane though, here comes Suzuya, but there's another play coming in. Mob will be there for the assist. There is the Stranglethorn and the knockup from the Zara. Suzuya is very low. Ace in the hole, does not get blocked. He takes the full blow, but here comes Stellar from the mid lane. He has a lot of room to work right now, but Asuka getting a lot of damage to get the kill, and now being CC'd away from his teammates, Stellar picks up a very easy kill, and that's because Stellar did die because there was no target for the shockwave. That's why the ball returned. So that was part of a deletion coming from UC.
But this does give them something that might be more worth it. That was a 2-for-1, so the value isn't all on MCL's side. The Mountain Drake will actually even that out, and I think it's going to make it a lot better coming into the mid-game, and especially when UC wants to take the Rift Herald, which will be spawning in 5 seconds.
Oh boy, the next Drake will be Ocean. UC just looking better and better each time they take that Ocean Drake and Mountain Drake.
And now seems like the blue buff will be the focus here.
My God, Cry is just it's not even mercy. No mercy is shown in the jungle for MCL.
Smite is up for Suzuya, but
Cry
I think Devour deals more damage at this point.
See, yeah, he can never take his buff. There's 1,000 damage from Devour, so he can catch a break. But I guess this is a trade-off. Cry will be giving a kill onto Asuka plus a blue buff.
Actually, that's not worth it for Cry. A little overconfidence there, but the blue buff didn't go to the optimal laner that it could have gone to. But still, the gold is heavily in favor of UC, even with the equal number of kills because of the Drake, as well as the CS lead built by Kissy and Akinos. Ooh, wow, Akinos has twice the amount of CS at Asuka.
That's not laughable at all. I mean, that's something really dangerous for MCL. But do take note that he does have 2 kills and 1 assist. He may not be that far behind in terms of itemization and gold. We can do see that he does have 2 long swords and a VF sword.
So that's going to be the pickup for him. I like it that he's not going for Xerxes just yet. Ooh,
oh
Kissy.
boy, Kissy.
Bit of trouble.
Gets drunk by the explosive cast, but the shockwave will not be enough to fend off Stellar.
Suzuya, 100% kill participation so far. Good for him. And it's actually, despite the pressure.
Oh, what a hot game right now. The pressure's on to the bottom lane. Here comes the teleport.
Oh, wow. Dodges all of the damage with the Feather Storm.
Akinos is in bigger trouble. That will be a kill, though. Akinos still managed to get something for...
Asuka got greedy. There was no need for him to go
he did get something from the bottom lane. So he was actually happy with that. I mean, he did get a kill, so Asuka... yeah, as you said, very greedy.
Definitely no need for that. But that is dangerous for UC because that means that MCL has a little chance to get back in the game. Because if Suzuya, despite the deficit in terms of the camps, in terms of the experience, is still able to get these impactful ganks, that just means that the Nunu will eventually fall off in terms of value that he can give. Of course, he has the absolute 0, doesn't deal that much damage, has really good slow though.
But he's doing his job right now.
Yeah, but he's doing his job right now. But they have to be careful about MCL later in the game if they keep going for these, if they keep getting caught.
Well, then it's up to his teammates, not to Cry, because Cry did what he needs to do. Take all the Ocean Drakes, assist his teammates in ganking. It's up to the laners to dictate the late phase of the game if they ever get a lead. But right now,
in trouble.
Yeah, Mob has no flash anymore. He does burn it. That was up though, then that would be a reward for Suzuya.
Yeah, Explosive Cask was up, but they didn't want to risk it too hard because Lucis was already below half health. An Equalizer would have been very dangerous, combined with a Flame Spitter DOT. But the game is still very close. UC is so ahead in terms of the rotations and the objectives, but you cannot ignore MCL. This is a 4-0-2 Kassadin.
Yikes.
If he gets more kills, I don't think UC can weather the storm if Stellar continues to snowball.
Here comes the all-in from Stellar.
So a bit of a trade-off.
Yeah, trade-off wise, Stellar will always win thanks to that magic shield. But when it comes to the late game, UC will have such a lockdown here in the bottom lane. Hong with the Strength of Thorns. sets up a kill for Akinos. And here comes Lucis from the bottom lane. He does get exhausted, giving some room, but he does burn the flash for Akinos. And right now, here comes the equalizer from Mob from the bottom to the top lane, and that will be a double kill. He got what he wanted, 2 for 1.
And here comes Stellar to finish up the job bot lane. I think he has enough tools to actually take it out.
Oh
it's going to
boy.
be his entire kit unloaded onto Mob. This is, in the end, this is actually going to be 3 for 3, but more worth it for MCL.
Yep, and right now, Stellar may have a hard time, but look at that scale. I mean, unstoppable killing spree right now, 5-0.
At the cost of the mid lane turret. Actually, it's more worth it for UC, but I'm kind of focusing on the fact that Kassadin gets another kill, and then Lucis, he has died 3 times, but those 2 kills actually bring him back into the game, and then get him closer, steps closer towards the hyper carry Jack. But that is also on another cost here, not just the turret, but also this Rift Herald.
Rift Herald is being not yet contested. More of an annoyance, but it would be UC securing.
Ooh, it goes to Cry.
The Rift Herald. Actually, he's free to use it in any lane he thinks that it's worth using.
Yeah, just get that dance while as he recalls. Happy with that Rift Herald, because that means that he can go in and out of the map a lot more because of his empowered recall, which allows him to rotate more and take more of Suzuya's camps and take more of these objectives.
Right now, UC, they're playing a bit too aggressive. They don't have the snowball they did have in the last game we saw, but they're pushing very aggressively. I mean, the turret health is very low. Not to mention, they already secured the first turret, but it all comes down to the Drakes. I mean, this will be the 3rd Drake. I mean, so much emphasis on the Drake because UC really likes to play around the objectives.
Yeah, and seems like Suzuya a little bit late on the back foot here for the Dragon.
He's
Cry gonna go for the top lane here, bot lane here instead.
Cry
just get some deep vision in.
Yeah, Cry is already setting up for the Ocean Drake.
Meanwhile, Suzuya still walking around the map really aimlessly a little
Oh,
bit.
this time this might be a bad news for Cry. He does not have any control wards, not to mention the map is very black for UC in a way that they don't know where the other members of MCL are.
Might be dangerous for them. Teleports are not up for both top laners.
And not to
Seems
mention,
like, yeah, Cry will not be risking going onto that Ocean Drake unless they have complete control, but seems like not definitely not taking that until they have complete control. Gonna focus instead on this bot lane turret.
Don't rush something that you're not sure yet.
It seems like very mindful Cry. Oh, he's gonna summon the Rift Herald right here, right now. No chance to defend against that.
Yeah, they just have to give it away. But I think this will set up for the Ocean Drake, but
yeah, they have to give a lot of time.
This is actually well used. Okay, you just take 1 turret, but you'll stick the Ocean Drake. That's a really wise, good way to use the Rift Herald.
Of course, that will be the search and win here via Link. Just open your tab up. It seems like those 2 actually gets taken down. Top lane Lucis gets taken down. I believe it's probably going to be the turret, actually, considering where the red marker is placed. Probably either the turret or equalizer, but getting a kill onto that Jax, even though it is a 1-for-1, it gives him 1 step closer towards that hyper carry. But seems like UC not skipping a beat, already transitioning to the mid lane after getting those objectives.
Yes, very true. And not to mention, Mob is not too far behind in terms of damage. He does have the Arm Seeker's guard. Will be beating towards Zonia's Hourglass, but you gotta really respect UC in terms of Ocean Drake control, the Drake control. But right now, in the top lane.
Look at that top lane. Confident dive coming from Lucis, but that is going to be very risky. Could have gone either way south for him, but he does get the kill, gets a revenge kill because of the turret. Still, I think it's more worth that it went to Jax.
Yeah.
Because
completely.
of how the scaling for these hyper carries works.
Yeah, but right now I think when UC does get all the Drakes and objectives they need, Cry already has done his job. He can retire in an elderly home and just look at his team carry him towards the victory because he did his job. But it's always up to Kissy.
I think that's the first ever jungle camp that Suzuya is able to take from Cry.
Oh, that's a bit of a burn right there. But Stranglethorn is up, but Suzuya gets slowed by the snowball. Hong is there for the bind instead. Goes in for the slow instead. Flash burn on to Kissy. He does not land anything up. Not giving up yet with, Lucis! It's up the shockwave, gets knocked back. And now Stellar goes in for the retaliation attack, but he is left alone, ignoring 3 members of MCL on the right side. But the chase is on, but they should know better.
That's going to be a 1-for-1. Another kill onto Stellar, but will his damage be enough later in the game? Because what seems to be what's happening here is that when UC groups up, they have so much damage that I don't think they can follow up an assassination coming from this Kassadin. Let's see.
Baron will be up in 1 minute. If UC feels confident, they can take it. We did see them as soon as the Baron spawned, they do take it down. But right now, things are looking pretty even for MCL against UC. However, no turrets for MCL, whereas UC, they have 2 turrets in the hands. This will make it the 3rd turret in the hands of UC.
5,000 gold lead for UC and 3 Drakes is so drastic of a lead. It's not as bad as it was last time with UNOR, but with the way that MCL is playing, they're quite behind in terms of CS in the mid lane and bot lane. But I think MCL can still come back from this, because the later the game goes, the more that the Saya is able to bring out a lot of damage and utility with the feathers. The Kassadin's just going to get more and more powerful as he gets more kills, and Jax is a hyper carry, but it's going to be all about them pulling the trigger. Is it choosing the right targets, choosing the right fights, where Akinos cannot get as many free hits as he usually does. Single honeydew fruit there in the top lane.
A very lonely honey fruit, wanting to be eaten but not wanted.
Does not want to get slowed down, rotating into the mid lane here, because Akinos and Kissy definitely doing a lot of work pushing these waves in.
And with the Baron live, an objective up for grabs for MCL. They
a real threat. It is a Nunu.
However, Lucis is also a threat, but looking at the composition of UC, they do have Hong in case Lucis goes in deep. They can lock him down with the Thorns from that Zyra. Not to mention the AoE knockoff from the Strangle Thorns of the Zyra.
Sheer damage here comes Cry. Might be in danger.
There it is. Oh, Cry. If Cry gets taken out, this will open up a Baron for MCL. Cry cannot afford to die right now. Yeah, he's very tanky.
Quite tanky, even with nothing to devour nearby. So that is going to be the explosive cast used against him. Quite a big cooldown in terms of displacing Akinos.
Cryo, however, also used this Absolute 0-4, that AoE slow.
Oh, now Suzuya in trouble.
Oh, returning the favor. He's trying to block off the body slam, and that would be an easy pickup from Suzuya, opening up a Baron for UC. See, this is the confidence they have. Knowing that the Baron is gone, they will still go for it. Let's see. Lucis making his approach in. Cry can take it on. He does something to the steal? But it would be MCL taking the steal! And the fight breaks down in the Baron pit. Lucis once on Akinos, but Kissy picks up the kill.
What? How is it possible for a Baron buff to be stolen away from a Nunu? That was the damage from the Soul Flare coming from Kari. Unexpected. What?
Breathe. That's breathe.
So that is going to be MCL coming out with that Baron buff.
That was such a clutch though. I mean, I gotta see that replay. Let's see.
Let's look at how it all plays out. This should be in Smite Devour range already.
Oh,
he smited it early.
Smited it early, and while he was devouring, there was an animation. And that's how the Inner Flame was able to get the Baron.
And here, Lucis even almost gets Akinos. So that's definitely MCL can take on UC in a straight-up fight.
This is looking very good for an exciting game where we do see that MCL, they have taken the first big objective.
We're going to have to see if they can transition that into actual objectives.
Oh boy, I think Cry is feeling a bit dishonored. He will have to fight back. He has his second chance right now in the Ocean Drake. That will be live. But we're seeing that Suzuya does have the smite, whereas Cry does not have the smite. He did use it, but it'll be off pretty shortly. But right now, a bit of a brawl in the Riverside.
Sonya's used by Stellar for no reason.
Yeah, the nerves are getting to these players. And right now, the Ocean Drake is up for grabs. But note that MCL is entering this fight with more power, firepower. They do have the Baron buff, but they don't have the smite advantage. Let's see. And it will be UC not giving them a second objective. Well, Suzuya is out of position. He gets taken down, and there is the blast code. A chase by Stellar goes wrong, and there's the knockup from the Orianna.
Oh, Stellar doing a lot of damage.
But Asuka is free to hit. There's the Feather Storm. Where is it? And that will be a sweep from Stellar, just cleaning up the field with a triple. Wow. And now with only Mom left alive, that would be an ace!
Wow, an ace coming against UC. Closes the gap. A quadra kill for Stellar. Closes the gap in gold to 2,000k.
Oh,
2k rather. And with the Baron buff still on these two members, they can actually transition this and equalize the gold with a turret. Or two even.
Yowza! Stellar is actually 10-0-3. That... What is that, man? Like, what? 10-0-3? No, not even a single death. And here's the replay.
And here's what happens. They kind of split their attention apart. Stellar and Lucis kind of tunnel vision onto Mob, which means that it's a little harder for Asuka to deal the damage here. But once Stellar and Lucis actually join the fight, this is where everything becomes messy for UC. Look at them, the front line. Not really a front line, but rather huge damage for these top lane and mid laners. And Asuka, because look at how much he healed in that fight. He was already half health because of how much he healed from that fight, plus dodging a lot of damage with a Featherstorm.
Someone has to control Stellar with that Kassadin.
Jeez Louise, that is going to be 10 kills and 0 deaths for Stellar.
Yowza, I mean, in the top lane, we're going to be expecting that Lucis is actually a hyper carry role, but leave it to Stellar. Give all the money, all the advantage, and the resources to Stellar to deliver the damage and the cleanup.
And the more items he gets, the tankier he gets as well. He has his Zhonya's Hourglass, has the Rod of the Ages, so he can actually stay in the fight for a long time. He has armor, he has magic resist, he has health, which is gonna make, and then Lucis is just gonna keep getting stronger and stronger unless he gets killed here for being out of position.
Well, Cry does have the ability for the slow, but it's not gonna pay off. I mean, Cry did his job.
Cry did his job early, but seems like now with Suzuya's tankiness and the ability to disrupt, that's the thing. Cry can't disrupt.
Yeah.
He only has a slow and a super slow. On the other hand, Suzuya can can displace Akinos and Kissy, and also knock people up that go near.
Somebody kill Stellar. I mean, that's a huge bounty. Very juicy. 10-0-3. And with that, that would be his pocket pick, not to mention. And to top it all of that, taking the first Baron of the game, that gives them a huge chunk of gold, not to mention an ace in the CR pick.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Even with 3 Ocean Drakes onto UC,
I hate
if they get into a straight-up fight, it's actually going to be MCL. Cry did his job early game of getting these objectives, and he's still going to do his job when Baron spawns, when the next Drake spawns. But when a fight actually happens, it might actually be on MCL's side, because
they have the damage. They have the utility and the disengage from the Gragas. Not to mention the powerful kiting from Karma for the
survivability of their damage dealers.
Oh my god, here comes Stellar! Goes in, out of the clash from UC.
They don't really have any solid ways of locking him down.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be very painful for UC. They do not have.
Yeah, Lucis is just wailing on here. The thing here is he was forced to build the Hex Drinker because he was facing up against the Rumble. Imagine if he had Trinity Force in here.
Man, I actually like the sound that Lucis makes when he hits the turret. But right now, 3 members make that 4, closing in onto Lucis. There's a teleport coming in.
Stellar and
there will be a fight breaking out pretty surely. You're gonna be seeing.
Here comes Suzuya.
Asuka also. Here comes the explosive cast. Holy moly! UC is in the mercy of MCL. MSL Asuka in the backline with the Zaya goes in for the cleanup. Featherstorm in. Featherstorm out. And that is a cleanup with a double kill. But the Zona is burst for the buy at the time. But Cry cannot deal any damage. But Bobby's dealing the damage for him. And there is a shutdown. What a shame. So close.
That was definitely so close, but Stellar died. Lucis died as well. And Asuka, even with how much damage he has, with the Warlord's Bloodlust as well to keep him topped up, everything. That's a 4-man body slam. Very good, but
not to mention the explosive cast.
Yeah, but they stayed a long time in that equalizer, get into the shockwave. And Asuka's quite late to the party.
Yep.
Which means that his DPS, if his DPS was there when everyone was locked up by the Gragas, it would have been an easy fight for them. But here, even with the Warlord's Bloodlust, the damage from the Flame Spitter is too much.
Not to mention, Asuka didn't have enough time to set up his feathers.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing about how that fight went wrong for MCL. Still, it's around 1.3k ahead. UC is 1.3k ahead, and it's going to be the Baron buff next. I don't think MCL will get lucky again with a Baron unless they're able to disrupt it. And I think they have all the tools they need to. The Feather Storm's going to come up very soon. The Explosive Gas as well. So UC has to be more careful here.
I can see right now MCL puckering their lips, tasting that second Steel Baron maybe, and also an attempt to actually win this tiebreaker. That's where you see.
Ooh, look at the damage coming
they're
from
actually
Akinos.
putting on their big shoes and big pants. This is going to be the last game for them in their group stages. Do not cut corners.
Yeah, it seems like Lucis will he teleport in time for
Yeah, I
this
think he
objective.
will. Let's see. Here it comes.
Actually, it might be very dangerous. Scares him away from the Baron.
But there's Lucis still. And right now, Cry is very attacking. They're going to be resuming the Baron. Carry is very low. Asuka's there. As Stellar might go in with a 2-man shockwave. And I don't think UC will make it out alive, but right now we're going to be seeing Mom trying to deal damage onto Asuka, but there is Carry for the assist, but right in the Baron pit, look at Stellar's damage, he is still alive, but he does not make it out. But of a cooldown restriction there, and with only 2 members of MCL alive to defend 3 members of, 4 of UC.
So Zuya and the
They
rest
have
of
the Baron.
MCL hesitated there.
Yeah,
They had a big opportunity of disrupting the entire team and leaving Stellar open to just clean up UC.
Those are huge death timers. They could actually lose 2 inhibitors, and looking at that, they do have the Baron buff. Oh boy.
Yeah, they hesitated a long time there. They could have gone for a disrupt there. The ideal situation there was that Suzuya could have used the explosive cast to get Cry out of range for both Smite and the Devour. Instead, he just pushed him still within the range of that Smite.
Yeah, and the Baron didn't reset because Lucis was there, and not to mention the plant of Hong. That was such small details of UC really paying into the favor.
Man.
And right now, guys, 5 Drakes for UC. Great lockdown in the DRP.
And because of that fight, UC's back in the lead in gold with 7k. Earlier, MCL had a really good chance of just taking away team fights, but now it seems like if Akinos gets some free hits, if Mob gets a really good equalizer, it's just over for MCL. And because a lot of their damage just comes in melee, that's Stellar, Lucis, even Suzuya, being stuck in that equalizer is going to be so bad, and he leaves Akinos and Kissy a lot of room to free hit.
Stellar is dealing so much damage, but it's kind of falling off knowing that the members of UC are itemizing against it. There is the Locket of the Iron Solari. Not to mention, we have yet to see a Guardian Angel pickup. I guess they don't really want to rely on that small duration where
going
they
for the Bloodthirster instead.
More of a defensive item, more useful.
Yeah, gives him lifesteal combined with already the Warlord's Bloodlust, plus the Overheal Shield will actually be very useful in mitigating the burst coming from Stellar.
Yes.
Here, MCL needs to not hesitate. If they find a way, if they find an opportunity where they can separate members of the team of UC, they have to do it, because that's what their composition is at. Lucis cannot spend too much time in the front line dealing his hyper carry damage if the rest of his team is falling apart because they hesitated.
They should not hesitate on that. They should not even choke. This is such a close game, and MCL is showing that they can actually keep up against UC's macro play.
But it's definitely more on how they engage, how they play their team fights. But when it comes to rotations and decision making, they're quite hesitant at times, in the key moments too, where they're not supposed to do so.
Look at that.
Oh, look at the siege coming from Akinos.
Look at those traps. 5 traps just to zone them out and giving Akinos more room to free hit. But looking at the map right now, we're not be expecting a backstab from MCL, but let's see. Stellar does not have any more than Dash's Veil, setting up for maybe easy CC lockdown from the Zyra plus the Gloriana.
This is the biggest impact that Cry is having outside of the objectives. Blood boiling Akinos.
Yeah, man, that's something that you should
That's
do.
actually very potent.
Yeah, that's gonna help really well with Akinos' steroid in terms of attack speed, not to mention the movement speed for the kite.
Wow, they got that inhibitor, winning without fighting. They didn't even need to get a clash there. The trap line was enough to deter MCL. Plus, because Akinos had the Blood Boil on him, easy to just kite in and out of the inhibitor.
The Art of War by Atlas.
UC really spinning MCL in their web here. At this point of the game, 33 minutes, 5k isn't too big. Let's say the distribution is again around an 800 gold item for each of these members. But it's all about the macro play and the composition as well. Because UC has played such an good early game, they were able to transition this into Akinos very easily, taking down these turrets with the help of Christ Blood Boil and the zoning potential of the Shockwave, of the Strangle Thorns, of the Equalizer. It's so good.
No teleport yet off for two Losis, but here it comes.
They have to commit now.
Look at Stellar. He's really aiming for Kissy and Akinos. Very low, 50% health. And whoa, that crit! And there is the Feather Storm for the Knight. And the Akinos just gets CC locked down by Lucis without the marksman. What's UC left to do? Buy time for Kissy and the setup. There is the killing spree onto him, and Mob is trying to zone out that Zaya. Will it help though? Lucis is making his approach, going in on the cry for the stun. Asuka is left to free hit, and Kissy a bit too hesitant to go in. And now with Hong just smacked against that wall with a trophy, but they did buy enough time for the Nexusters to just go down thanks to the minions.
Oh man, it's actually going to be very bad for MCL, losing a Nexus turret from that fight, but they do get a little bit of gold from that onto something. The thing there is, Stellar had not, if Stellar was in a better position there, not in a position to get poked down. Let's look at how that fight played out. Stellar was hanging around so near without the help of his team that he gets chunked down to half health. That is so bad for him, which means that when he ults in, his uptime is half.
And Akinos made the mistake of actually calibrating shot in, and that's gave Lucis an easy location.
Yeah, but Asuka also going down to like so low health here. But even with the shields, that was very dangerous.
Fire in the heal.
Yeah, but imagine if Stellar was at full health there because he wasn't poked down. Yeah. He would have been able to take out Kissy by chasing him after later. So really, because of that small positional mistake, being able to get being poked down, that actually halves the time he's in the fight.
Wow, this is such a close game. Not to mention, we did see from that clash that MCL will come up top. It's more of waiting for those inhibitors to spawn and giving MCL more room.
Ooh, what a weird redemption coming from MCL. That is a huge fight reset tool taken away from them. Gonna see though, because Stellar is still 12-3 and 5. But he needs to get into a position where he won't get kited and destroyed in terms of damage like this.
They have to protect Akinos at all costs. Lucis cannot get the jump on him.
Suzuya's here for the disruption though. He has explosive cast available.
Look at that, 2 Banishing Veil onto UC, and now the inhibitor is going to be taken down.
Once again, without a fight.
Carry though, flashes out, and that is a mistake for Kissy. Yikes, painful mistakes.
I think MCL...
Oh no, Stellar from the back line goes in onto Akinos. He does flash out, and there is the Zonius Hourglass and the redemption. Looking at the position of Akinos, he's in a good spot to land those traps. Lucis making a slow approach, but the counter strike is up. He can't take any damage. But then Akinos, look at the damage he's taking. Look at the damage he's dealing against Asuka. Akinos, no! He gets rooted down and locked out by Lucis, with Asuka cleaning up the fight. And Mob, nothing to do. Just watch as his life taken away.
And now Baron is definitely going to go to MCL without Cry available to help him out. Note that Hong, if he survives, he can still deny the Baron because of how much damage a Zyra support he still does. But they have to also be mindful, because look at that.
I think they should be more mindful of their base.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem here, because they're going to get disrupted by Hong. Has to cancel that. So Nexus exposed.
Man, what an intense game. MCL at their wits' end, not giving up without a fight.
They need to win a fight when the Baron, rather when the inhibitor is up. And they had a lot of opportunities to do so, but it's so hard because Akinos deals so much damage from long range.
And not to mention, UC knows as soon as the inhibitor respawns, they will take it down.
Yeah, definitely. So it's really only, they have to time when they pull the trigger. They have a lot of good opportunities, but after that, they don't really have huge objectives.
Yeah, what happens when your trigger gets jammed? You lose. And that is hesitation. And that's something that UC cannot even take even a risk. I mean, especially Akinos, we did see his aggressive play.
Oh, look at UC. Oh, that's actually already below half health. Oh man, that's gonna be twice the amount of 1.5 times regeneration. And now they're gonna try and rotate towards the Baron.
The Baron is still up, and that's gonna be very.
MCL can't afford to leave their base for too long.
They can't, man. I mean, look at the wave coming in.
Give a huge wave.
Oh boy.
MCL's backs are to
Look
the
at the
wall
burn
here.
from the aspect of the dragon, but we can still see that Susu is making his way. Redemption is there, and a four-man shockwave onto the members of MCL, and the Baron is taken by UC. Disruptor is coming in. Lucius goes on to Kissy, but Kissy managed to get the jump on him. Suzuya goes in for the bite side, but there's no follow-up, and now the burst is just too powerful with Ace in the hole, nailing the coffin of MCL.
The burn, even the members of UC.
Corpses on the floor.
Even with all the members of UC that didn't have a lot of damage, like Cry. Actually, all of them had a lot of damage, but that because of the aspect of the dragon, even Cry deals a substantial amount of damage. And forcing that fight, even after they were taken down by the damage coming from that shockwave, they still went into the engage, and this cost them the game, costs them the semifinals of the LCL.
And guys, what an intense game it was, with MCL did their best against UC, but because of the aspect of the dragon and not to mention the 5 Drakes, UC still made it on the top as to represent Group B and moving on to the semi-finals.
The macro play from UC was on point from minute 1 until the end of the game, and even though that MCL had really good team fighting, really good team fighting composition, because of the lead that UC accumulated because of their objectives early game, they just took it away coming into the semifinals.
And let's get into the end against up Kissy, though in the last clutch he did clutch that 4-man shockwave. Really well placed.
That's really what wrapped up the team fight.
Yeah, that really wrapped up really cleanly. And right now we have to see the damage dealt.
We're gonna see all of that. Look at the KDS. We're gonna very intense game, lots of deaths all around. But really, we're gonna have to see how all of that happens. Coming into the semifinals, the search and win winners actually. We have two to actually. Let's go to the damage first. Look at all the damage coming from Akinos and the top lane here. Coming into all those equalizers, all that free hits, just culminated into the win for them. And even though that Cry didn't deal too much damage against champions, I bet that damage to epic monsters is huge. And if ever a part of that damage dealt from Akinos is actually contributed by the Blood Boil.
Not to mention the DPS, but on to the search and win trivia winners to wrap up this episode. So the question was, what was the first item Ash built in Game 2 of UC versus UNOR? And the answer is Boots of Lucidity, and the person CDR boots. The person who answered that correctly is Brinal Jonas Castro. Congratulations, you win yourself a mystery gift. And for the 6th search and win trivia question winner, the question was, what was the first Drake taken in the tiebreaker match between UC versus MCL? And the answer
is
Junar
de Guzman. He answered it with Ocean Drake. I feel like I've seen Junar de Guzman's name on the search and win trivia a lot. I don't know, maybe it's just deja vu, but of course those are the 2 winners for that for the last 2 search and wins we have for today.
But we have our winner for Group B, UC. Moving on to the semi-finals. Wow, I gotta congratulate them. I mean, the macro play was really outstanding. And guys, that concludes it. Group B finished, and also this episode. I was Vulcan, and joining with me was my co-caster, Atlas. And we've been Shortcasters, and we hope to see you next week for another episode of the LCL. Here's approach in. Cry can take it on. He does have the mark, but it will be MCL taking the steal. And the fight breaks down in the Baron pit. Loses once on Akinos, but Kissy giving them a second objective. But Suzuya is on position. He gets taken down, and there is the blast cone. A chase by Stellar goes wrong, and there's a knock-up from Oriana. But Asuka is free to hit. There's the Feather Storm. Where is it? And that would be a sweep from Stellar, just cleaning up the field with a dribble. And now with only Mom left alive, that would be an ace. Wow, and there will be a fight breaking out. Pretty sure you're going to be seeing.
Here comes Suzuya.
Asuka also. Here comes the explosive gas. Holy moly, UC is in a mercy of MCL. MSL Asuka in the backline with the Zaya goes in for the cleanup. Feather Storm in, Feather Storm out, and that is a cleanup with a double kill. But the Zoner is first for the Biden time. But Cry cannot do any damage. But Bobby's doing the damage for him. And there is a shutdown. What a shame. So close. Shockwave And I don't think UC will make it out alive, but right now we're going to be seeing Mob trying to deal damage onto Asuka, but there is Kari for the assist, but right now in the parapet, look at Stellar's damage, he is still alive, but he does not make it out. But
oh, that's great! And there is the Feather Storm for the dive, and the Akinos just gets CC locked down by Lucius without the marksman. What's UC left to do? Buy time for Kessie, and the setup, there is the killing spree onto him, and Mob is trying to zone out that Zaya. Wouldn't help though, Lucius is getting approach, going in on the try for the stun, Asuka is left to bring him, and Kessie a bit too hesitant to go in. And now with Kong just smash goes in onto Akinos. He does flash out, and there's the zoning hourglass, and the redemption. Looking at the release of Akinos, he's in a good spot to land those traps. Lucius making a slow approach, but the counter strike is up. He can't take any damage. And then Akinos, look at the damage he's taking. Look at the damage. He gets rooted down and locked down by Lucius, with Asuka cleaning up the fight, and Mob nothing to do. Just watch as his life taken away. And a 4-man shockwave onto the members of MCL, and the Baron is taken by UC. This Rockman is coming in. Lucius goes on to Kessie, but Kessie manages to get the jump on him. Suzuya goes in for the body slam, but there's no follow-up. And now the burst is just too powerful with Ace in the hole, nailing the coffin of MCL.
The burn, even the mem of the game, costs them the semifinals of LCL.
And guys, what an intense game it was with MCL.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.